We are in the game.
Let's go.
In the game. Jahan, I have an auto-drafted team on accident now. I need RB depth with Mixon, Walker, Jettas, Neighbors, Brian Thomas. Should I trade Neighbors for Brees Olave and Caleb in a half-point PPR league, 10-team? The very quickest answer I can get is no. You're not trading. Don't trade away your elite talent for depth right now. Let's see how things play out because you might be able to find some Caleb Johnsons and Chris Olaves later. Like, do not trade for depth right now. You don't need that.
I agree.
So who's your number one pick right now, Kendall? Like if you're coming in a draft, you got a number one pick.
What are we doing? If I said Bijan Robinson, would you be so happy?
Oh, I would.
I was like, I see the jersey.
Don't say Bijan. I'll be ready to fight you. So
no. I will say it's between a little bit of Jamar Chase. I haven't I think it's okay to take Saquon Barkley. I know people are really worried about just overall what he had to do, how many carries he got last season, how far into, they went all the way to February and they won the whole damn thing. So I would say, I switch it out just because we draft so much. So it's between, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I have taken Bijan Robinson at the 101. I do like that. And a little bit of Saquon Barkley. I would say that's a really poor player.
Well, I've been heavy Bijan, and obviously, it's one thing because I was saying Bijan would be my number one overall player even last season, but it's like even this year I believe it more because of the finish he showed with Michael Penix. It showed like they're gonna go through their studs, Penix, London, and Bijan, and I think if he can stay healthy this year, sky is the limit, especially if they're going to use them in the red zone the way they did down the stretch. So
I agree. And it's so interesting, this Saquon Barkley conversation with people, because every single year, if it's CMC finishing as the RB1 overall, every single time the next season, it's like, oh, okay, we're going to do it again with CMC. But this year, like people have been very off Saquon. And again, it's the amount of work that he had last season. I totally understand that. It's assuming that they're probably going to have to be a little bit more pass heavy this season, just, sticking. They had a lot of blowouts last year. Like they have a tough schedule this year, which will keep them in games a lot more. But it is interesting seeing like how many people are, I say off Saquon Barkley, but he's not, the 101. He's like the 103, 104 this year.
What's weird to me is how can you be off Saquon Barkley, but then not in our drafts? Our drafts are great. But AJ Brown going in like the middle of the second round. How does that happen? If you feel like this offense, if Saquon Barkley can't repeat as the RB1, then why is AJ Brown going so far down in drafts? That one is probably the one I can't figure out the most because I absolutely love taking AJ Brown as like the back that on this end cap somewhere, that 11, 12, 10 pick. I love getting AJ Brown with another receiver.
I agree. And that's the one thing too, that I think, I've had to do it sometimes too, where I don't correlate some of my before in the past. It's been difficult for me to say, oh, I really like Jaden Daniels. Well, if I think, he brings the rushing yards, but what about if he is really a good passer? Like I did not draft enough Terry McLaurin last season. And when I went back and looked at my ranks and looked at, all the projections that we had and, the thoughts that I had, I said, why would I not correlate if Jaden Daniels is going to have a top 3, top 5 season as a quarterback? A lot of that can be based on rushing yards, but also he's going to be probably a little bit better than I'm thinking through the air. So it's always correlating your thoughts and knowing just if you think one guy's going to be good, then probably the people around him are going to be just as good as well.
Man, I think that's the truth. And it's one of those things where like you start talking about different like early round players too. Obviously the Vikings are one of them. Like you got Justin Jefferson right there. I'm interested to see who you take right here. Bucky Irving, okay, on the back end there. But you get Justin Jefferson. You get Jordan Addison in around the 4th, 5th round. You get TJ Hawkinson in the 5th, 6th round. Like there's a lot of weapons there for that Vikings team. But JJ McCarthy goes outside the top 20 quarterbacks. You get Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers in the first 2 to 3 rounds of your draft, depending on who you're drafting with. But Geno Smith is going way outside the top 25 quarterbacks. So I'm not saying those guys need to be pushed up draft boards, but it's like sometimes when we talk about correlating players, if we're expecting something from an offense, it's important to make sure that it applies to all players and not just the ones that we want.
I agree. And that's something that I've already said hand up that I've had to work on, where it's just like, man, if I loved Jaden Daniels so much last season, why would I not have more, more shares of Terry McLaurin? It's the same thing for me this season with when I'm talking about Drake May. I really also enjoyed Trevor Lawrence this season, which could just we could just scrap this whole podcast if it doesn't go well. But like, if I really like Trevor Lawrence and think that, not only did they get a new offensive minded head coach, not only did they, do a lot in the draft, they spent a lot on Travis Hunter. Like, why would I not think though that, Travis Hunter is going to get his, or that, Trevor Lawrence is going to be a little bit better. So It's one of those things.
Yeah, no, I like Trevor Lawrence. I'm with you there as well. Can you guys rank, excuse me, can you guys rank Rashee Rice, Garrett Wilson, Adams, and JSN? So This is a good tier of receivers because it often goes at like the back end of the second round. Mostly these guys are third round receivers though. For me, I really like getting Garrett Wilson over all these guys. And I know a lot of concerns about the quarterback play there, Justin Fields. But I believe in Justin Fields. I believe in these changes coming over from Detroit. So for me, I'm looking at, all right, Garrett Wilson first. Then it comes down to like Rashee Rice or Adams. Because I think touchdown-wise, consistency-wise, they're going to be a little bit better than JSN, who got a lot of, you already talked about Cooper Kupp. You may have some questions with this Seattle offense, even though Clint Kubiak's going to be there. So give me Garrett Wilson. Give me Rashee Rice for the upside, Adams for a little bit of that touchdown floor, and then JSN after those guys.
I like that. I would go Rice. Give me Rice, JSN, Adams, Wilson.
Rice.
That's JSN, Adams, Wilson. I love Devontae Adams this season. I'm really hoping for the best for Garrett Wilson as well. But we know who Justin Fields is as a passer, and it's not amazing, but they're college teammates. I think chemistry goes a long way, and that's what we saw with I was off Devontae. I had 0% Devontae Adams last season.
Really?
And then when he was traded to the Jets, it was going well for me until the middle of the season, and then I'm like, oh crap, this could really come back to. And that's why I say chemistry. Him reuniting with his BFF, like he was peppered with targets. So yeah, and JSN, I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, and you saw what he did with DJ Moore too. Like DJ Moore had a career here. I think he was a top 5 receiver at that time. So it's Garrett Wilson, I think there's some love there. And JSN is interesting to me. He just was taken in this draft, and I see his ADP all over the place, right? You get new quarterback in Sam Darnold there, who obviously played incredibly last year, for those who don't know. And he had 2 top 20 receivers last year in Jefferson and Addison. And we got JSN, who's going as a top 12 receiver in most mock drafts. How do you feel about JSN this year from your Seahawks?
I like JSN. I'll just say that. I think, him kicking out to the outside, that's going to have to be kind of a seamless transition for him. And I do think he can do it. I think he can be that deeper threat. For me, I'm a little bit more nervous about Sam Darnold. And I think I need to just bring myself into check a little bit in these next couple of weeks and just know that wide receivers can operate with bad quarterbacks or just mediocre quarterbacks. And that's the one thing that I just have to get the Seahawks fandom out of my brain. But, I hope the offensive line is better. They drafted Gray Zabel in the first round. So I do think that helps. But Sam Darnold under pressure is not something that I ever want to see. And when you have the 31st ranked offensive line from PFF, he's going to be running for his life a little bit, and he's not good under pressure. And for as much as Geno Smith gets crap a ton of the time, I do think he was a little bit underrated, and he mitigated how bad that offensive line was when he was there in Seattle. So not to say that Sam Darnold can't do it, but he's not operating with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison anymore. He's operating with JSN, Cooper Kupp, which is a little bit of a I love JSN, but he is not even close to the same tier as Justin Jefferson. And I think Kevin O'Connell is a great coach for quarterbacks because of what we've been able to see with not only Darnold but Kirk Cousins for 2 years over there. So I'm all that to say I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm still JSN is still in my top 15 wide receivers because he can still operate. Yeah, he can still operate.
Do you take him top 12-ish, top 10-ish, or are you I saw you got T. Higgins there. Are you taking him top 12-ish, or are you
I did, but I moved Tyreek Hill up in my rankings. So he's just outside JSN is outside the top 12 now because that move with Jonnu Smith, I think really will benefit Tyreek Hill. So he's, I believe, let me look. I have it right here. He's, I think 13 or 14 for me, wide receiver.
Okay. Yeah, that's not. I think that's good range. I have them a little bit lower, but I think a lot of those guys are, like we talked about, they're kind of similar receivers. You have to kind of get the person you want.
Where do you have T. Higgins?
I got T. Higgins outside 14, 15 range.
Oh, okay. See, that's the one I'm having trouble with, where I'm I think regression is coming. His touchdowns last season and his touchdown percentage, it was so good. And so I'm just he got paid. I think I need to bring him down a little bit because I think he's my wide receiver 12, and I don't necessarily draft him every single time when that range comes up.
He's tough because he just hasn't proven he can stay healthy. But when we see healthy T. Higgins, a lot of times we see like top 5-ish upside on a weekly basis. So it's hard. I would say it's hard. Like I would be much more, I would say in best ball, I'll take more T. Higgins at the third round. But like in redraft, it's harder for me because I think on a consistency wise, like he's going to have some dud games, even though he plays well in PPR leagues, and you have to worry about the injury so much. If T. Higgins was healthy, I think he's a top 10 receiver.
No-brainer. Yeah, no-brainer.
That's where I got him. It's kind of like Christian McCaffrey. If Christian McCaffrey's healthy, we're taking him in the top 3 rounds or top 3 picks. But because he's not, it's like I even struggle taking him in the first round just with his injury history. That's where I'm at with him.
How can I get sniped or in the freaking 4th round? Who is that? Who is next to me? Like getting sniped at like before noon has to be like somewhat illegal. That is so gross. That was I wanted DJ Moore. That's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Should I trade? Another question came in.
Oh yeah.
Should I trade JSN and Mixon for Henry in a full PPR, 2 receiver, 2 running back, 1 quarterback league? So basically, you're saying consolidation depends on how many teams, because if there's like a 14-team league or 16-team league, absolutely not. In a 12 or a 10-team league, though, you might have a little bit more wiggle room. My answer is no. And I think this is a little too much to give up for Derrick Henry, this is where the age starts to play in a factor. I don't think it's a full thing where I would fade Derrick Henry. I would take him at cost. But when you have another running back like Mixon and you have a receiver, an upside receiver in JSN, it's like it gives you the upside and the floor that you're looking for with Derrick Henry. I don't know that I would do this deal. I'm turning this down personally. How are you feeling about this one, Kendall?
Yeah, I would also turn this down.
Too.
Oh God. And I'm just getting sniped left and right. It's just when you're playing with sharps, it's so annoying. It's also understanding because you guys know what you're doing. But come on, like you can't leave me anyone here. But I would also say no to that. Only because I love Derrick Henry, but we talked about the age thing. And just I will say JSN, I still do think he has a good season.
He does have a good season. And I think that it's, even if it's not the season that I'm hyping up it, or like Mixon, maybe Mixon, everybody's right about him. It's like, that's a lot to give up for Derrick Henry. This is like a mid-season trade when everything is set, where your team is. That's 2 studs. I would prefer like Mixon and maybe a lower tier receiver than that, or JSN and maybe a lower tier running back than that to get Henry if you could.
And I don't hate I don't hate Mixon again. Like people are, I don't know where you're at, but the Chubb stuff, I was like, I'm not worried about Joe Mixon with Nick Chubb coming to town, and I don't think anyone else should be either.
I think, wow, I don't know how Kenneth Walker fell to me. Oh, then he didn't yet. Not yet. Oh, I sat there and talked.
Now they know. Take him.
No, don't take him. Don't take him.
Come on, don't take him,
you're
in here.
Come on, Yeet Man. Damn.
That should have been in our notes.
It was setting up so nicely too, because Evans fell to me. I almost took Evans around before he fell to me. I almost took K-Walk around before he fell to me.
That is so funny. Lord, I love your followers. They're so good. That's why you just can't. That's something that you can't do when you're doing drafts. Don't tell people who you want. That's the hardest part about your home league drafts too, by the way. It's just if your friends know you, or if people have your rankings and they just know who you like, you're gonna get sniped.
Oh my God. Yeet Man, and you need another receiver too, Yeet Man. Come on, bro. No, it's funny, man. It's funny drafting with these guys. Yeet Man is always so extra. He is, bro. He is, man.
I thought he did a great job. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so you can't say it out loud.
Yeah. After this round, we're gonna kick it up a notch. Have you ever done a speed draft before, Kendall?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You like
difficult? No, of course not, because then you just get so nervous and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? My queue's not set. Yeah. But I do like it, for the thrill.
I can't even set my queue because then I get queue sniped and then it comes up to my turn and I can't pick the player. So I have to wait all the way. And while we're talking and everything else.
So funny.
So guys, we're going to kick this up. The back half of this draft is going to be a speed draft, a 10-second clock. Let's see how y'all like it. All right. I'll wait till the end of the 6th round. Y'all got to the end of the 6th round and then I'm going to do it.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So Bijan Robinson's your most got to be one of your most drafted guys. Who's your other? Who else do you like?
I would say I find myself taking a lot of Bijan, a lot of Alvin Kamara in the 3rd, 4th round, especially. And on underdog, it's 4th and 5th round for Kamara. I take a lot of Cooper Kupp late, Stephon Diggs late. We talking about old heads. I've been taking a lot of the old
I
heads.
like it.
Yeah, if I had to say one of my favorite younger players that I take, Devon Achane at the back end of the first round, if I can get him there, maybe top of the second, I find myself taking Achane for the upside. I think he has true like RB1 type ceiling this year, especially
Definitely.
Especially under, just seeing how this is playing out, no Jonnu anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
What about you?
I've taken a lot. I'll go deeper, guys, because we don't need to talk about Tedero McMillan or anything like that. But I do like Ted McMillan. I think just based on targets alone, that he's just going to be peppered, and so he's one of the rookies that I've taken a lot. I will say I have a lot of Jordan Mason for now with the Minnesota Vikings. I just and again we got examples last season of Aaron Jones just being a little bit banged up, but he was pretty good for the most part. But 31, I believe he's going to be this year. And so I also think that he's a great, like Jordan Mason is a great 1-2 punch add. There was no one behind Aaron Jones last season. So I do think that they maybe take off a little bit, take a little bit more off of Aaron Jones' plate. But I say that right now, and I'm still going to draft him. But
ain't mad at that.
But I do think that he could, get a little bit more taken off his plate. And then when you do that, if there was ever an injury, Jordan Mason would come into
Jordan Mason was skyrocket. We saw it last year with him in San Francisco. He unfortunately couldn't stay healthy himself, but it's funny how you talk about players you like, and Yeatman, he over here, he sniped you too.
I know. That? Yeah, no, I did. I don't need to talk about it. Also, RJ Harvey taken from me as well. Whoever that is there as just basically like copy that draft, and that's the draft I wanted.
Yeah, there you go.
Essentially.
Jay, and the sleeper ADP doesn't make sense to me. Like receivers are inflated. I am at team 3, and I couldn't bring myself to take Adams, Harrison, or Wilson over JT or Kyron. What do you think? I think it's a good thing though, because you can use ADP to your advantage a lot of times, right? So you have to determine what players you like, who has the upside you're looking for, and also what settings you're going to. You also mentioned, I think you had a previous post where you mentioned you play in 2 receiver leagues. So if you play in 2 receiver leagues, taking 2 receivers taking a bunch of receivers early doesn't make sense. A 3 receiver league or a 3 receiver league in a flex in a PPR league, it makes a ton of sense to grab early receivers and make sure you're stacked with them. So I get your concern there. And like, I love Jonathan Taylor, love Kyron where you got him as well. It's just, I think it is when you're in a 3 receiver league, you want to have good receivers because your league mates will.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's go.
See, how you liking your team so far? You got Jefferson, Higgins, Flowers.
It's fine. This is my best example of like how I do usually go 0 or hero RB. Just take one of the elite guys off the top, get your wide receivers, make sure you come back around with some solid running backs, and then pay attention to the quarterback. If it's 1 QB leagues, like I'll more than likely wait on quarterbacks just because I think we've talked about this. There's value at the end. And then same with if I miss out on the top 3 tight ends, the tight end landscape is like. It's not as fun. So that's also another position where if I miss out, I'm just probably gonna wait.
A very steep drop at the run at that position.
That's a nice way to put it. Very steep drop.
Man, I put the 10-second clock on you because you were sniping us the whole time. So you got the 10-second clock, the first of it. We are now in the speed round of this draft.
I love it.
This is where, man, I feel like I always get auto drafted during this, man. It happens at least once. Yeah, in these middle rounds too, I feel like this is where you got to trust either the vet that maybe is getting a little bit less love, or this is where you got to start taking your rookies. You find yourself taking more rookies, younger players in this range, or are you looking to like solidify your bench before you start doing that? Because I think there's 2 different ways you can go about it.
Yeah, it just like always for me, and this is like a cop-out answer, but it's always dependent on my draft. Oh, there goes Cam. See, I love Cam Scatterbo. I was hoping he would come back, but that's fine. So for me, like right now, I'll start looking at the rookies and just saying like if I've got some of my guys, I'm like, hey, I want to make sure to definitely get them, solidifying the bench as well. And then also like towards the later end of this round, probably, looking at the good handcuffs and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like that's one thing I try to you are right. It's draft dependent. And I feel like I find myself taking a lot of like disrespected vets during this time. Like I took Kelsey, but I probably should have took like Cooper Kupp or Godwin in that spot instead. I don't know what I was doing, but I find myself taking those players over like, the Romo Dunzeys of the world or the Josh Downs of the world. Like I found myself taking like the disrespected vets and then later on trying to find more of like the rookies that could have blow up potential, unfortunately. Like,
yeah. I like the speed round.
The speed round's tough. You got to be locked in.
It's so good. Yeah, I'm like looking at my phone, and I promise I'm listening.
Yeah, no, you're
but
good.
I can't get sniped anymore.
Don't take the time you need. I want you to get the team you want, so I can look at it and be like, all right, this is a real squad. This is also the time when, you know, if you're in a speed draft, you got to make sure you fill your positions the right way. Like, you know, there's the tight ends, the runs happen, the quarterback runs happen. And I'm not a big fan of like jumping in while the run is going, but like oftentimes if you're not, especially in a speed draft, if you're not paying attention to that, you're like, what value dropped? You often miss out on the positions as well.
And it's difficult when you're doing, like, this does not apply to speed drafts because it's way more difficult and it takes up too much time. But when you're in your drafts, you know, always so important just to look at the teams, what they've done ahead of you and what they could do around the turn. Like last season, I drafted way too much at the 10, 11, 12, but it was kind of nice to see, all right, I don't have to take my quarterback right here because the teams ahead of me already have one. And realistically, if they're playing the correct way, sometimes people just do weird things. Like we had someone that had Jalen Hurts and then went off and got Jaden Daniels. So it was really annoying. But usually, yes. So like one of those guys was on the bench more than half the time of the season. And so it should work out most of the time, but looking ahead at the people and what their team looks like already, so you can base your draft off of that or base your next draft pick off of that is so key. And it helps you out a lot most of the time. Most of the time.
And then we get these guys, the auto picks, man. It sucks. So Sonny G normally drafts really well with us too. But I hate when we get auto picks and they don't pick a quarterback or a tight end. Doesn't make no sense, man. No sense. Let's see. This is where you can find your guys. I want to see your last pick. Your last pick, I want it to be your favorite player, like the player you're drafting.
Oh God, the favorite player at the end of this draft. What are we doing? It'd be Cam. Oh, am I on the clock? Oh no.
So you're really in on Cam Scatterby.
Look, huh? I don't even have my stuff ready.
Hey, Jaden Higgins.
I'm talking.
I love that pick. I love that pick.
I do love Jaden Higgins. I'm chatting.
Yes, it's hard. It's so hard to multitask on this thing. Like I have I have a whole different screen up. So if I'm not looking at you, I have my other screen.
I've been looking down at my phone this whole time.
Don't trip because that's how I'm trying to do this thing, man. I can't do it any other way, especially in the speed rounds. Especially in these speed rounds, man. And I never take. This is
not my favorite player, but I do like, you know, potential upside there.
Bayshaw Tootin. Oh my gosh, here we go.
You don't like it? I know. It's horrible. It's actually a panic pick, and I'm just trying to cover it up.
I'm not mad at that, you know, because if it works out, it's one of those things where if it works out, you win. Like you get a starting running back, and I think it's kind of low risk too. Like you can go Rashid Shaheed. I haven't taken a lot of Rashid Shaheed, but you can take a risk on that. But
Kyler Murray in the 10th round. I think that's Ryan. Kyler Murray in the 10th round, yes, every time.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Wow, Dak Prescott.
Where did
that had to have been an auto pick?
No,
Jared Goff back to back.
The Jared Goff was an auto pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Dak pick though, that was a good pick down there.
That was a good pick. I was just wondering if he went back to back on purpose. I like it.
Yeah,
look at
Kyler grabbing him in the 10th every time.
Every time.
Likely is your favorite player. I'm not mad at that. Well, Kendall, I appreciate you mock drafting with us, sharing your thoughts on some of these, you know, strategies and myths. Tell people what you got going on, where they can find you.
Oh my gosh. Well, K Valenzuela 17, that's over there on X on Twitter. You can give me a follow. And then I'm on SiriusXM every weekday. So Monday through Friday, we start it's a new time. So 10 p.m. Eastern, or 10 a.m. Eastern, 10 to noon Eastern, on SiriusXM channel 87, and then on the SiriusXM app. And I can't say enough great things about fantasylife.com. So if any of you want a subscription, you know, just shoot me a message. I have a promo code for you that I can definitely send you, because you have the best, you've got great followers.
Promo code, you know,
like you've got great well, you definitely message me, but we've got tier 1, tier 2 subscriptions. But like I said, our projections are up. Draft Champion is up. You can sync your league, and it's just really innovative stuff that we have going on there. So fantasylife.com to go and check that out. But I had so much fun. Thank you so much for letting me come on here.
Absolutely. Definitely got to run it back at some point here this off season, whenever you want to. And definitely check Kendall out on every platform she's on, man. Kendall, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Talk to you soon.